I have to be honest, I'm at a complete loss for words over that scene. Even as a light novel reader, I was not expecting that out of nowhere. I'm legitimately at a loss for words. I don't know what to say about that. What is going on, my beautiful viewers? And I am back again today to do a breakdown of the finale of Isekai Cheat Overlord Season 4. I can't believe we're here. This season has just blown by. The channel has changed so much since I started doing these videos. We've grown so much. And here we are at the finale of Overlord Season 4. So I'm very excited to be talking about the finale today because this is the end of the Volume 14 content, which I was so excited about going into this season. I got to admit, I actually just had a lot of chilling moments in this episode, like actually kind of like disturbing. And starting off with the scene with Mare, and that was the first scene that kind of just made a chill run up my spine. And that was just because, you know, we have Mare, who is a very cute character, you know, has a little voice and everything like that. But the things that he is saying is just completely contradictory to his voice. And, you know, he's saying, like, I'm going to do my best to kill everyone, and, like, he's crying over his inability to kill everyone. It's just really messed up, and that just goes to show you, just this arc in general is messed up. The stuff that goes on, it's a full-scale war, and we're in the final stages of it, and honestly, this part of the battle hasn't even really been a battle. It's literally just been Cocytus walking to the palace and killing everyone with this frost aura. So that was a scene that just gave me a little bit of heebie-jeebies. I don't know about anyone else, but it did to me. So then we have the scene between Raposa, Renaer, and Climb, and this whole thing is basically Raposa just trying to get the treasures of the kingdom and the royal line to a safe location. And actually, did you guys notice in this scene when Climb refuses to obey Raposa's orders, I thought you could see a little bit of Renaer's true smile like sneak out of her. Like there was just a small hint of it. I don't know, I might have been over exaggerating it. And so we have this scene, and honestly, my really main takeaway from this is I just feel bad for Raposa, honestly. Of course, he did kind of like allow for his court to be this way, and you know, like he allowed his court to become corrupted. I mean, but the thing is that the kingdom was a corrupt country long before his reign to begin with. He genuinely loved his family, all of his children, and the fact of the matter is that, you know, like his oldest child was a fool, and then his second son was killed unceremoniously, and his only daughter is a yandere. So I just feel bad for Raposa, like just what he's had to go through this entire series. So then we move on, we have that scene with Climb, and he's hiding the treasures and anything to do with the royal line in a warehouse in the capital. And something that I remember that's different from the light novel, I believe at this point, is that by this point, Mare has demolished most of the capital with his earthquake spells and has killed off pretty much most of the populace as well. So that's one of the differences I think that was from the light novel. I think the capital was already in ruins by this point in the light novel. And another detail is that when Climb is on his way back to the palace, he notices that like he can't hear anybody. Like he can't hear even any screams or sounds of combat. Like it's just eerily silent throughout the whole capital, and that's a small detail, but it is also kind of an eerie detail to, like, it's more disturbing to hear nothing in a situation like that because, you know, there's just all the life has been extinguished from the royal capital at this point. And so then we have that small scene between Aura and Gazef's old teacher. And this was the second scene that gave me a little bit of chill. So Aura's whole mission is to retrieve the item. I believe it was a prototype of Armageddon Evil, which was an item that Olbert, who is Demiurge's creator, made. And during the whole Yaldabaoth thing and the Operation Gehenna in Season 2, they were using that item as a scapegoat as to why Yaldabaoth was there. He was there for that item, and it's been stored in the Magician's Guild ever since. Aura is sent to retrieve that item, and she is stopped by Gazef's teacher. And the thing about Gazef's teacher is not a whole lot is explained. He's not really explored all that much, even in the light novel. But this guy is a former Adamantite ranked adventurer, but once again, it's just like these people are toys to Nazareth, and he's just unceremoniously put down. He doesn't even get a chance to introduce himself, because the thing is, he's getting really annoyed by Aura's tone and attitude throughout their entire conversation, how casual she's being, and so that like makes him want to pick a fight even more. So another like pretty well-known guy within the Riestes kingdom just There was nothing he could do. And also just how casually Aura was just like kill all of them with the disciples, and they're just immediately killed, and you can like hear their screams and stuff. Like, yeah, it was just a little disturbing. As much as you like these characters, like, and as much as you've gotten attached to them throughout the show, is that like they are evil, and it's something that no matter how many times I come to terms with it when I watch Overlord, it's something that still shocks me. It's just how like, you know, cruel these beings can be. So in the light novel, Climb gets back to the castle, and he goes back to the room, Ramposa's room, and he sees instructions from Renaer to go to the throne room. And, you know, at this point, he's seen that the Sorcerer Kingdom's forces have infiltrated the palace, but none of them are showing any sort of hostility. They're not attacking him. Like, so he's just wondering he's really confused. He's wondering what's going on. And then, of course, he opens to the scene of Ainz being there with the NPCs and Renaer sitting there with blood on her hands and Ramposa dead. So from Climb's point of view, he deduces that Demiurge used his voice of control to make Renaer kill Ramposa, when in actuality, guys, the truth is Renaer killed her father by herself. This was all her plan, as we find out at the end of the episode. Over 90% of what went down in this arc was Renaer's plan. And also, guys, that Renaer has been working with Nazareth since season 2 on all their plans and stuff within the kingdom. If you guys have watched my videos for the past few weeks, then you already know that, because I told you, because I kind of knew that even before I read the light novels, that Renaer was working with the Sorcerer Kingdom, or Nazareth. She was working with Nazareth. Though they show you all the scenes throughout season 2 that basically gave away clues that Renaer was working with Nazareth this entire time. So then we have the confrontation with Climb and Ainz, and honestly, this whole thing revolves around Razor's Edge, in my opinion. It's because Ainz is really interested in Razor Edge, and he wants Razor Edge because apparently Razor Edge has the ability to bypass like any defense. Like, it has the ability to just bypass like Ainz's low-level weapon immunity. So the fact that Razor Edge can even do damage to Ainz in the first place, even when it shouldn't be able to, is a reason why Ainz is so interested in Razor Edge. And actually, Razor Edge has been theorized by Fluter, that it was created through wild magic, so that's possibly why it has like these weird effects that can bypass Yggdrasil stuff, is because it was made from wild magic, but that's just a theory. And one of the funny things in this conversation to me between Climb and Ainz is when Ainz is holding Climb and is just like, you know, if this was a story, you know, your rage would awaken the power of Razor Edge so you'd be able to kill me. I kind of felt like that was Maruyama going like, yeah, this ain't Naruto, bro, alright? Like, we're doing something different in this story, got it? This ain't fairy tale, no power of friendship coming through, alright? We got a guy who's pretty evil, and he's the strongest being, and no one can stop him, no matter what. But one more thing I wanted to comment on during this confrontation is Climb's ring that he got from Gazef. I believe that ring was gifted to Gazef from Regret of the 13 Heroes. That ring is also made from wild magic, and I believe the effect of the ring is that the ring allows you to bypass level caps. Now, in the hands of Climb, that doesn't really mean much, because, you know, he's a pretty weak guy. He's like level 15 or something, but it's still important because it's made by wild magic. It can like break Yggdrasil mechanics. So if like someone like Cocytus put the ring on, he would go over level 100. So Climb was killed, and then we move to the next scene in Nazareth with Renaer, and this is where we learn that Renaer has race changed into a imp. They just called her a demon in the anime, but I believe she is an imp, and she convinces Climb that she pledged her allegiance and turned into a demon because she wanted Climb to be resurrected. But of course, we found out after that this was all part of Renaer's own design. And so Renaer has basically convinced Climb to go along with this whole thing. And, you know, now she's going to stay in Nazareth with Climb, and they're both going to be inhuman and immortal. They won't age. And, you know, he'll be locked up in there with her forever, which is a yandere's dream. In the next scene with the conversation between Renaer and Albedo, they brought something up that I thought was a theory in the light novels. It wasn't confirmed. I was going to bring it up in this week's episode analysis anyway, but in the last episode where Renaer gave the food to the orphanage, it was theorized that it was poisoned, so that because I believe killing a certain amount of people or collecting like a certain amount of people's souls or something was a requirement for her racial change item. To my knowledge, in the light novel, that was never like 100% confirmed. I thought that was more of just a theory. I can't remember exactly though. But in the anime, they just straight up said it. So maybe it was said in the light novel. Actually, any light novel readers confirm that for me. Was it said in volume 14? I can't confirm that because I don't have my copy with me. And then this is also the scene where it's revealed that, yeah, Renaer was the ultimate mastermind behind this plan. This also goes to show you that Renaer has this superior intellect. She is incredibly smart. This is something that was realized by Albedo and Demiurge throughout their conversations, and also her personality is conducive to Albedo and Demiurge, and that's why they both like Renaer so much. And you know, that's why Albedo has taken her on as her subordinate, and she actually like enjoys talking to them because they're both kind of yanderes, and they're talking about their boys that they're crazy about, you know, Albedo with Heinz and Renaer with Climb. But they also show you that Renaer is still a little bit nervous around like these powerful people because they can take away all this stuff on a whim whenever they feel like it. So she's endeavoring to make herself, you know, valuable to the Sorcerer King so that never happens. And then we have the scene, and I actually, this kind of felt like anti-Disney princess, like it was almost like a Disney princess song, but like just this like reverse of it, you know, because she's a freaking demon princess that's a yandere. Like honestly guys, Renaer is just, she's quite possibly in the running for most twisted character in the show. She's so intelligent, but just her personality and stuff, she's just so twisted. That song literally was just like, what the hell? It was genuinely creepy. And I think that encapsulates Renaer so much. So I thought that was a beautiful addition to the anime. That was fantastic. Also, did they level up the animation in that scene, or am I imagining that? But I was really not expecting that, and it blew me away. I had no idea what to do. So then we have that small scene with Philip and Albedo. Philip, the guy that brought ruin and destruction to all of the Rusty's kingdom, and he finally gets what was a long time coming to him. With Albedo. You know, Albedo was waiting for this ever since he touched her in episode 2. But something they actually cut out of the light novel that I remember is that, you know, Albedo does like give him the present or whatever, but then she takes him outside and she takes him to the forest. And what it is actually outside, it's like a Vlad the Impaler style like display. Basically, it's all of Philip's neighbors and servants and family and friends, and they've all been impaled on spikes. Albedo proceeds to take him to Nazareth, and she plans to torture him to death. Philip's fate, of course, was well deserved, but in the light novel, that scene is way more messed up because of the whole forest thing. They cut it out, unfortunately, but you know, that just goes to show you how much Albedo truly hated Philip, because not only did Philip cause this whole thing, but her lack of being able to control him because he's so stupid reflected poorly on her, and that was the major insult to her. And then we have the final scene with all the nobles that were aligned with Marquis Raven in the capital. So what Ainz ended up doing in the capital actually was having, I believe it's a slime area guardian from floor 7, I think their name is Guren, and Ainz had it just melt everything in the capital besides the palace. So like, it's literally like a barren wasteland besides the palace. I just thought that scene of Ainz sitting on a throne of rubble and the overlook of the capital and the destruction was just a really strong final note for this season, just showing you like this is what the end goal was, and like how he says like, I'm pleased with the result, and the result is nothing but destruction. And this once again shows you the darkness of Overlord. And I remember from the season 4 trailer, even, I mean, at the end, the words that were on the screen at the end of the trailer was, the world is about to fall into a nightmare from which it will never awaken. Because the reality of the situation is that the new world is going to exist at the whims of Nazareth and Ainz. Ainz is not the hero. He is motivated entirely by self-interest in preserving and enhancing the lives of Nazareth denizens and promoting the Sorcerer Kingdom. And he is so powerful and has all these resources, and he can change the world how he sees fit. He is going to do what he wants. He is going to make decisions, and things are going to come about from those decisions. And there is absolutely nothing anyone in this world can do to stop him. And that's what Overlord is. He's the ultimate ruler. the new world now exists however Ainz wishes it because he's that strong. It really is a dark story, guys. Like, and that's something I think people miss about Overlord, and like, because there is a lot of comic relief sometimes and stuff like that, because it's basically about a world full of people that can do absolutely nothing to stop whatever this guy decides. There is a little bit of detail I want to go into in the epilogue of this volume. Ainz is very worried about having to deal with all the new territory they've acquired. As well, he's actually worried about being around Renaer because of how smart Renaer is. He's worried that she's gonna figure out that he's faking this whole thing, like that he's kind of just going along with whatever the NPCs say. So because of this, he decides to go on a little vacation that I will not spoil right now, but that will lead us into the next bit of content with volumes 15 and 16. And so I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, where do we go from here? Where does this channel go from here? Because like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, this season of Overlord has really given my channel a kickstart. And now we have all these new viewers. I still plan to continue doing Overlord Explained videos. I actually am planning the next one, which is going to be on Wild Magic. I'm still planning to do those every now and then. I also fully intend to do a breakdown of the Overlord movie, which will cover the Holy Kingdom arc whenever that comes out. I don't know when that'll happen, but I fully intend to do a video on that in the future. But as for what I'm going to be doing in the immediate future, besides Overlord Explained videos, like I said in a post I posted earlier this week, I'm working on a Cyberpunk Edgerunners video at the moment. But as far as shows and everything, I really just plan to keep doing and talking about shows that are really grabbing my attention. Someone in the comments earlier this week suggested doing Mushoku Tensei videos for season 2 when that comes out, and that sounds like a fantastic idea. I definitely plan to keep talking about isekai anime too, specifically because you know, I love Overlord, I love isekai, and a lot of you guys watching are probably Overlord / isekai fans as well, so I think that would align with our interests very well. But really, guys, I just hope we keep growing from here, and you know, I'm just gonna keep branching out, and you know, I'm still gonna be doing Overlord stuff, don't get me wrong, but I'm hoping I can branch out, and you know, I'll be able to keep you guys along for the ride with other things, because I'm sure you guys watch other shows besides Overlord. Maybe you only watch one anime and that's Overlord, and that's fine, but if you like other anime, maybe you'll be able to stick around and see more content from me, guys. With that said, guys, I want to just thank you all so much for being a part of the Overlord Season 4 experience with me. This has been fantastic, every week coming on and breaking down these videos for you guys and talking to you guys about them. It's been nothing but enjoyable, and you know, the growth that my channel has experienced during this season of Overlord cannot be overstated. I thank you all so much for that, and I will never forget that Overlord was the driving force behind that, and that's why I plan to keep making Overlord content despite the season being over. So guys, with that said, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please hit that like button on your way out. Leave your thoughts, comments, concerns on this episode, this season, and also future content you want to see from me in the comment section below. I always want to hear from you guys. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching to the very end of the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.